Hello, my name is Valentina Tanni and I am an art historian and curator based in Rome, Italy. I currently teach digital art at Politecnico University in Milan and digital cultures at NAVA, New Academy of Fine Arts in Rome. My first encounter with Ben Gross's work was around 10 years ago when he released the Facebook Dometricator, a browser extension that was designed to hide all the metrics across the platform, so no more numbers on likes, comments, and views. That was a simple but very effective way to demonstrate how much these numbers matter to us and what a huge influence they have on users' behavior. What I liked so much about that project was its ability to go straight to the point, addressing the most important issue in the context of social media with a small but radical modification of the interface. That intervention had the power to make people aware, through a practical simulation, of the inner workings of social platforms, directing the spotlight especially on the addictive principles on which their design is based. This issue is quite well known right now, even among the wider public, especially after Instagram decided to hide like counts, but also after the release of a very popular Netflix documentary on the subject. But 10 years ago, the issue was still under the radar for most people, and the discussion needed to be raised. And Ben Gross's work was a very early warning and an important statement. Another pivotal project by Grosser is Gorando, launched in 2017. With this browser extension, the artist confronts with another fundamental topic of our times, the exploitation of personal data that happens on social platforms. Gorando purposefully confuses the Facebook algorithm, randomizing our reactions and therefore making our data almost useless in terms of profiling. What is interesting to notice is that this time the target of the project is not the human that uses the technology, but the machine itself. It is a clever way of refusing to conform to the rules of the game. And in the meantime, the project raises awareness on the agency that we as human beings can still perform over software. Of course, Gorando ends up confusing people as well, but that is just a side effect. Ben Gross's reflection on numbers and metrics opens up a more general discourse on the philosophy of software, on the ideas and beliefs that are embedded in the products that we use daily. And these ideologies are a direct emanation of the capitalistic obsession with non-stop growth, both in terms of sheer numbers, that in terms of money accumulation. But as interactive artist pioneer Myron Kruger very clearly explained already back in the 70s, and I quote here, "We are incredibly attuned to the idea that the sole purpose of technology is to solve problems. It also creates concepts and philosophy," end quote. And also, I will add in reverse, concepts and philosophies shapes our technological tools. And this is why we need to reflect on the ideas that big corporations are embedding into software and how this process affects our behavior, our social relationships, our self-perception, and our economical system, political and economical system. So the question here is, what is the role of art in this context? Is there something that artists can do to help society understand these issues and acquire a more conscious and responsible attitude toward the use of digital devices and internet services? The answer is, of course, yes, and lies in the capacity that art has to imagine alternatives, to have the courage to always ask the question, but what if? What if things were different? What if interfaces were different? So Ben Grosser, with his latest project called Minus, does exactly this. He asked the question, what would you write on social platforms if you had only 100 posts in a lifetime? And what the world would look like if the ideology behind software design was centered on content quality and not just on numbers, on scarcity instead of endless abundance. Of course, the project takes the form of an hyperbole, but it's a strong way to affirm the possibility of an alternative, to remind people that the interface is never neutral and that we as a society have the power to shape it and to change it. In 1997, software art group IOD released an alternative browser named the WebStalker. That was a project that radically questioned the conventional internet browser and the philosophy behind it. The software, one of the most interesting objects of the early net art period, was accompanied by a slogan that said, "Software is mind control, get some." And we have tested the power of software on ourselves for decades now. So today, almost 25 years later, that statement is truer than ever. And Ben Gross's work is here to keep that tradition alive. It cultivates critical thinking and makes people aware of the political and social effect of technology in a powerful, intelligent, and also playful way.